Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Aniket from EDS Technologies and I will be your host for today's webinar. First of all, we thanks each and everyone for taking out time and joining the webinar, Empowering Tomorrow's Civil Engineer with GIS Technology. I would like to introduce Mr. Yogesh. So, Mr. Yogesh has a total of 15 years of experience in geospatial industry, and he has worked in multiple roles. He has worked for central universities, research organizations, NGOs, and private sectors. He has worked extensively and with remote sensing database for geodatabase analysis and development. He is a recipient of the Nehru Grimson Fellowship Award from President of Iceland and currently leads a team providing GIS technology solutions to various businesses. So I request Mr. Yogesh to give the EDS Technologies corporate profile.
Thanks, Aniket. So about EDS technology has been established 30 years ago, and currently we are providing solutions related to virtual twin, geospatial analytics, and 3D printing. A lot of different technologies has been introduced by EDS technology in India, like 3D printing, VR, and digital manufacturing. And we have almost 2,000 plus customers. And we have offices all across India at 10 places, and Bangalore is our headquarters. And we have dedicated teams for sales as well as technical support. And we have partners with various esteemed organizations like Dassault System, ISRI India, Technia, EOS, Synopsys, MAC, and Humanetics for different kind of solutions. Now I will introduce our speaker next. Our speaker is Rohit Kumar Tiwari for today's webinar. He has more than 6 years of experience in GIS technology, and he has worked on the designing, development, and implementation of GIS systems. And he has worked on various kind of remote sensing database in both the private as well as the public organization. And he worked on smart city project as well as the precision farming. So I hand over to Rohit for further discussion. Yes, Rohit.
Okay, thank you, Yogesh and Aniket. Hope I'm audible. So before starting today's discussion, today's presentation, and the agenda of today's presentation strictly on the use of GIS in civil engineering, what is the various use, how we can use it. We're going to stick with the structure and infrastructure management and planning stages. Before going there, I like to I like to just give you a brief about the GIS. So what GIS stands for? So GIS basically means Geographical Information System. So in GIS, we mostly deal with the spatial data. Okay, so any data sets where location information attached, that becomes spatial, and we deal with those data sets. For civil engineering, any map or design we creating, any project we're going to plan, we start with the drawing file. Okay, we create CAD drawings, we create plan at the planning stages. And if you want to visualize our plans, our designs in a geographical context, in that area we need GIS. Okay, so GIS have 5 core functions: capture, store, analysis, manage, and present. Okay, so mostly engineering practices, all things started in GIS with the capturing information. So like in civil engineering, we do ground survey, we collect information from the ground using various sources. It could be a chain survey, which is a manual, or it could be a digital form. You are going to ground and collecting data using your DGPS devices or your GPS devices. So any type of data collection is there. In NGIS, we do collect data from the flying platforms like satellites or drone. So any data you are collecting, that become the data capturing. Then you store data, you structuralize that data. Sometimes this happens, we collect unstructured data, like you collect information about the property or the information about the soil. Okay, so channelize those information into into a format where you can use it, in your project. So we organize that data, and that third stage can do analysis of their data. So we analyze that data and extract the information which we can use. we manage our information, we share our information, which came at the end stage, which is present. Okay, so in GIS, you have the ability to share your data without getting converted into other format. So you can directly share as a web maps, and anyone with with an internet connection can visualize your entire project. It could be 2D or 3D. He can visualize it. So moving forward, why is GIS for civil engineering? Okay, so nowadays GIS become an indispensable part of civil engineering. Okay, it integrated with civil engineering. GIS provide the tools for create, manage, analyze, and visualize the data associated with development of development and managing the infrastructure. So, like we already discussed, the data we are collecting using various platforms, we want to visualize that data, we want to manage that data, and at later stage we want in operations we want to use that data. So many companies now in India, they are using drone survey to track their projects. You are working with a company or with an organization who's working for a large construction projects. It could be an infrastructure project, it could be a social economic project. So you want a platform, you want a technology which can track your information, which can track your design, which can track your construction. Okay, so you use this technology. Not only that, the software, the GIS software will provide you a platform which help you to interoperate. Okay, so you are collecting data from various sources. You are preparing a model, you are preparing a Revit model, you are preparing a BIM model at the later stage. And now you want to integrate, you want to visualize it on a geographical context, that GIS. Okay, so and also GIS technology in civil engineering has opened a new avenue to resolve environmental issues. So the issues which you are facing or a project can face in terms of regulation, environmental regulations, in terms of green spaces, in terms of the cost. Okay, to maintain your project more sustainable, the cost, the sustainability cost. In in that venue, GIS definitely going to help you. Okay, so importance of GIS in civil, as per our understanding and our discussion, we find the three points. Okay, I and E. In these are the three important points. Okay, I'm going to explain it in more detail upcoming slides, but the importance is integration. You can integrate a various data, various type of data at one platform, and you can visualize it. So because GIS is a very scalable technology, you have the ability to do it. You can use this platform for your survey activity. Same platform you can use it for maintenance in operations, and same platform you can use it for the planning. Not only the structural planning, but also the impact of that project. Okay, in fact, the industries also started using GIS for their ROI, like return on investment, how much this project going to be valuable. So those type of plannings, this software can also be used. So the integration of data from various sources in one platform, which going to provide you this capabilities. It's going to improve your decision making, because you have the data from different sources. You can make a model which is which could be a decision support system, which going to uh, make your task easy to process your design, to process your decisions. Okay, it's going to definitely improve your efficiency. It's going to save you lots of cost to optimize in terms of optimizing resources, by asset management, to locate your assets, to locate your assets operational time and all. It is going to help you, and you can use GIS as a project management tool. Okay, so for infrastructure, in GIS infrastructure, we divided into three parts: enhanced planning, effective management, and innovative design. If you talk about the enhanced planning also can be segregated into three parts: data integration, site selection, and community engagement. We're going to discuss this point in detail. Innovative design, definitely 3D is a keyword now. Everyone wants to visualize their project into 3D. They want to visualize their 3D model into real context. They don't want to visualize a box model. They want to visualize their project. They want to visualize that project into real geographical context, where that project going to be built up. and how the surrounding going to influence that project. Is this project is viable or not? Okay, visualization, analysis, the sustainability of that project is key. The third part is effective management, asset management, your efficiency, your project management. These are the key in any infrastructure project where GIS is going to help you. So going forward, enhance your planning using GIS. How you can do it? First, data integration. We already talked about it. So you are collecting data from the various sources, from satellite imagery, drones, survey data, existing infrastructure map, which could be the accessibility of road infrastructure from your project, which could be the utility network, underground utility network, the sewage line, the gas pipelines. How you going to utilize those data? Okay, so from till now you have those kind of data available with the government or relevant authority. You collect that data and you put your CAD file over that data and try to visualize manually. But if I'm going to tell you, like, there is a platform where you can open all those layers simultaneously, top one over the other top of the layer, and you can visualize all those data at once. So you can see, is your plan is viable? Okay, the accessibility of your project from the road, the accessibility for the utilities are available. If not, how is going to be available? Which route you can plan? Okay, how you going to intake inlet or outlet your wastewater? This type of planning you can do in advance. We see many projects failing or facing difficulties later stage because they do not plan this activity at earlier stages. Okay, the entire smart city project which Indian government started, the basic is you must use these data to plan your future. Okay, so basically it giving you an arm to do the scenario analysis. Okay, community engagement is very crucial. Any project started and because of some political or social issues, the demonstration started and your project going to be halted. But if you do the community engagement, if you project your map, if you publish your map with the decision maker, with the political figures, they can visualize your modeling, they can visualize your project in real time on a web. Okay, then they can put their comments, feedback. Okay, so in that manner you can increase the participation from the public, which going to help you a lot at the later stage. Okay, at least at the later stage you can say these are the feedback we received from the public, larger public or the public figure, and we address that in our project. These things can be done. You can increase the stakeholder participations by publishing your project in 3D or showing that project in 3D in advance to your stakeholders. Okay, site selection. So site selection is very important. So basically you have a project, you selected a site, you have a land parcel. Now you want to put your project in that land parcel. But is those land parcels are viable for your project? Is there any other is there any other land parcel available in that area which is more suitable? So how you can do that? So site suitability is very crucial. Site suitability could be from 2 point of view you can do. One is environment. Definitely, is that area is waterlogged area? Okay, is it on the slope? Is that land parcel is not on the way of natural flow? Okay, or is that land parcel is a massive land which going to be put you in trouble in later stage when environmental agencies came into the play? So these things you can do in quite advance. Okay, and accessibility analysis, you can do accessibility analysis in terms of the transportation, in terms of the moving your goods, in terms of the utility network. Moving forward, innovative design. So 3D modeling and visualization we discussed in little bit. So detailed rendering, you can create your entire project in 3D. Not only that, like you can see in this file. In this file, you can visualize that model into real context. It's basically giving you a virtual reality. So you are integrating a virtual reality with your project, which is key. Okay, now companies are hungry for this type of technology. So at the study phase, student can do that. Any student who is working for a project, they can prepared a 3D model, and they can share that 3D model for the real contextual figure. Site analysis, optimal route. Site analysis, it could be a site suitability, but you can also do for the routing, optimal routing. Like you have to collect your raw material from 10 different sites, and that raw material are coming to your site. So you can plan those activity in advance. You can set your entire supply chain management using this software. Sustainability is a key, like we already discussed about it. So sustainability also came with the price. So cost effective sustainability you can do with using the GIS. You can do entire planning before going to your project, before going to your project management phase. You can plan entire activity from which part of the area you're going to start your project, and how you're going to address those environmental clauses, the environmental compliances which are set by the government or agencies. So by addressing those compliances, you can maintain the sustainability of that project. Effective management. So effective management came when project at their construction phase. So asset management is a key. You want to visualize your asset in a real time, you can do it. Any IoT sensor which can push the data to the server, you can visualize that asset. It's just like you are ordered your food on Zomato, and you can see where your delivery partner is, okay, with your order. You can visualize all the activities. Similarly, if you installed a IoT device, a GPS device on your asset, all movable asset, you can visualize it. Okay, suppose you are working for a larger project where you are managing hundreds of different movable assets, you can visualize that on one screen. You can do it. Life cycle analysis you can do. Life cycle analysis is for the infrastructure component. By how you going to maintain those infrastructure for the long term. You can plan those activities. You can do the budget allocation. Like after 10 years, after 15 years, this type of repairing this infrastructure definitely going to need. For after 15 years, this type of budget, this project going to be needed. Oh, this type of advanced planning we can do using GIS. Emergency response is very crucial. I know all Indian emergency response teams or the agency, they are using GIS, they are using ArcGIS project to tackle that. Not only that, even 2 years back when Russia-Ukraine war started, government agencies use ArcGIS to plan evacuation of the students from Ukraine. So in emergency response, GIS is very crucial because you need ground data, you need ground information, you need information on which you can do take the actions. For that, you need GIS. You want to visualize the infrastructure, uh, what was earlier and what is now after the flood. What are the situation? If flood level is 1 meter or 1.5 meter, which are the areas are already water submerged? You want this information in forehand so you can plan your relief activity, or you can do the crisis management. Sorry. So application of GIS in 3D modeling and visualization. So like you can see in this image, so what we are doing here, basically we are connected with the Autodesk BIM 360 cloud, and we are directly pulling their BIM data, BIM model, which is shared with us, and opening on the ArcGIS Pro platform. So we can visualize our project into real world context. Okay, so this is called the realistic visualization. Here we create a realistic and immersive representation of geographical feature, landscape, and urban environment, which enable user to visualize data in a way closely resembling the real world. Okay, so this is the realistic visualization. Also, the dynamic perspective. If you give a dynamic perspective, you can change the orientation of your project to see the viability of your project. So see the viability of the design. Dynamic data integration. Dynamic data integration, basically we are we're going to integrate the data from different sources. What if there are some sensors installed, the IoT sensors installed, which are giving data in a real time, like the moisture level, like the pollutant level, like the wind speed level, like the precipitation informations, all those information coming in real time. Those information we can integrate, real-time data integration we can do. These are very crucial for projects like airports, in constructions, or the crucial infrastructure constructions like dams and all. So even for the highway projects also, they need some kind of real-time databases. You can do time-based visualization. In GIS, we use a term temporal data sets. So we want to visualize a project into time in a time-based manner. So when the project started and when the midterms, we want to visualize our project with context of my design. So I set a design. In 7 months, my project should be completed at certain stages. Now I want to visualize, is this project are already completed to that certain stages, or the report I'm getting from the ground, that my project on the track, is it okay or not? So these type of time-based visualization we can do within this platform. We can communicate and collaborate. So ArcGIS provide a powerful 3D visualization tool to communicate and collaborate. How we can share our 3D models, BIM models, Revit model with anyone. It's like a web page you can share with your stakeholder. They can visualize that model. They can do the measurement and all. And if they have any query, they can ask you on that model. Okay. So you can the ArcGIS family facilitate you to collaborate, and this collaboration going to give you a decision making process. Application of GIS for site selection. So you can refer this research paper. The couple of research papers already published about it. So how agencies or organizations using GIS for the site selections. So site selections came at a different level. Not only for the construction project, but also opening a new business outlet. The companies are using definitely the parameters are different. All parameters, you need different parameters for the different site selection analysis. But if you're talking about specifically for the construction, what parameters we should take in care? The terrain, the elevation, vegetation, soil type, the accessibility of that land parcel, the utility network, the land cover zone, the land use zone assigned by the authority. These type of parameters you can set before selecting any site for any construction. How we can sync CAD with GIS? So as a civil engineer, we work mostly on the CAD data, CAD file. We create CAD file. It's very easy to integrate your CAD data set like DWG with the ArcGIS software. Okay, it gives you a geographical context, like you already prepare a CAD model. Now you want to visualize that CAD model into the realistic world. You want to give that CAD model virtual reality. You want to test that. You can do it in ArcGIS. You can pull that CAD model and open it. You can visualize that CAD model in 3D. You can open that CAD model into realistic world. Okay. You can also test some simulations, like if the rainfall happen, if the water level increase at that. So we can bring our CAD data to GIS platform, which I already mentioned. We are discussing about the specific application of CAD, AutoCAD for the GIS. So one thing we can do, we can geolocate our CAD drawing. CAD drawing geolocation basically means when you bring your DWG file into ArcGIS and you put over the top of a high resolution satellite image, the drone image, you can visualize the real ground truth. You can do a ground truthing of your design. Is it matching with the conditions? Is it matching with the land parcel which are allotted to you, or it is matching with the scenario, ground scenario? And if you want to do the editing, you can do the editing directly into the CAD file. There will be no challenge. Other thing is, we have several databases which are stored as a repository. You can use those databases. Like you created a project, now you need a road network. You want to bring the road network into your project. So that data you already have for entire India, entire world. In fact, that data we have. Not only that, if you need some real-time data like traffic data, those databases are also available. You need river bodies data, you need terrain data, the 3D elevations profiles, all those informations are available, so you can use it. So bringing DWG file into GIS and editing those files into which suits the geographical conditions are really a good choice. The key feature for the GIS applications, these key features we did not discuss till now, but it can be very useful for the students who are interested for the 3D terrain model. The 3D terrain model are very useful for assessing the disasters like flood. You can calculate the terrains. You can calculate if uh, in future this water inflow increased due to some heavy rainfall or something, which area going to be water submerged. So basically you are mapping the water submerged area for certain condition, you are mapping the floodplain. So terrain analysis we can do the network analysis. So any students who or faculty may be interested in transportation mapping, so the GIS have entire tools and database and models which are specifically prepared for the transportation modeling. So city transportation modeling or other type of transportation modeling, which include the zip lines or the railways or airways, those type of analysis you can do. You can generate entire different model. Okay, hydrological analysis is very crucial. It's just like you are creating a watershed area. You want to have the idea about the stream network, the water stream network, the natural flow of water. If certain of rainfall happen in that area, what will be the natural flow of water? Which area is going to be for natural flow of water? Or certain foundation in that natural flow, which area going to be water submerged. So these analysis in advance we can do. These are all related to geology, but civil engineering students also can do project in this area. So some of the case study now we're going to discuss about it. Definitely first case study is water resource engineering. So water is a very crucial natural resources. It's a very fundamental, and we all want to know all about the water, the informations, the how much water available, how much water going to phase my project area, or in terms of utility like water supply lines, everything. And as a civil engineer or as a professional who are working for the urban environment, you're going to use it. So the system of engagement like that, in terms of water resource engineering, we collect lots of data, larger database. So first thing we do, we analyze those larger database to convert that, turn that data in actionable informations. We don't want to bring all those informations. You just want to convert into actionable informations, and then you use the models, already pre-built model for your study. Like you want to assess the floodplains. So informations you have for the precipitations, the streamlines, the terrain, those information you bring for the model, and that model give you the floodplain area for the certain AOI, area of interest, your area of interest. Now you're going to monitor that area, harness the big data coming from the number of sensors, the sensors you install on the ground, the real-time data. You want to monitor that too. That thing you can do in GIS also, and you can collaborate. So you can prepare maps, apps. You can send your surveyor on the ground, which can collect data related to the water. Water, like what is the inflow of the water, what is the downstream of that water, the level of downstream. These type of data you can collect, and we also have some sensors all pre-installed in India also, which give you this real-time data. So you can use that. You can collaborate those data with your model to get more accurate information about the water resources. Second case study is about the transportation. So transportation is very crucial. Now here we mostly going to discuss about the urban scenario. So in any urban transportation plan which we're going to prepare, first thing, it should be served. You need to plan a transportation network in a manner which is going to serve a larger population. So first you need to understand how what use the GIS to understand how location impact operations and discover new way to empower the staff as well the public. The plan is to identify the business need, the requirement, who going to use your projects. It definitely going to strengthen your organization and it going to back your the planning. Now the third step came to the act. So you create a plan. Now you want to create efficient workflow and ready to go business applications. Lastly, it came where to prepare the entire transportation network. It basically, I mentioned the word digitization, but it's not directly digitization. Maybe the networks are there, but you have to put your input. The three things you understand from the business need, you plan your network, you act on that network. Okay, you prepared actionable plan where that stops going to be, which area this network should go, and on the basis of that you enrich your network, your transportation network, and then you prepared your entire transportation mapping. Utility management similarly, which we have already discussed about the transportation engineering or transportation mapping. So what GIS can provide for utility management is, first thing is industry focused solutions. So there are solutions like transportation engineering which are more focused to the industry like utilities. Like you need you have a special tool for the water supply network, for sewage supply network, or the utility like gas supply network. So industry focused tool definitely going to help you to make a more feasible or more optimal network of utility network design. Second thing is integrated network. So utility network, once one network you prepared, there are other network which are already available in that area. So what you can do, you can integrate those networks with your new build network or network you are planning. This is going to prove your future. And how? Because in the operational manner, this is going to help you. How this network going to be utilized, who going to manage, who is managing those networks. So you can inform about the future extension of that network. You can plan in future like which area going to be more populated, so how we can expand our network. So to making your utility network more futuristic, you have to integrate your existing network with the your planned network. Smart cities are the other case studies which Yogesh is going to explain it. Yogesh.
Yes, thanks, Rohit. So we all know that what smart city is like, developing a city which is having all smart infrastructure. Maybe it is smart waste management, smart water supply, smart public transport, smart medical facilities, and everything. This is depending on various new developed technologies such as Internet of Things, AI, ML, big data, cloud computing, and using all these technologies, these services which are developed within the city are provided to the various localities within the city. So using these smart technologies, the smart cities are developed or revamped so as to have the sustainable development. We know that government of India has recently launched the smart city mission under the Ministry of Urban Development, under which there is a plan of developing 100 cities as a smart cities, and there are 8,000 plus projects under this particular program, and almost 1,64,000 crores of fund has been granted under this. And Varanasi city or the Kanpur city are the ideal example where they have started using the GIS, and entire GIS enterprise has been used, and each of the department within the city, development city or electricity, So all of them are using the GIS for that. Some of the examples where you can use the GIS in smart city program is the designing and maintenance. So for example, if you want to develop any infrastructure, maybe it will be road, bridges and utility, we have to understand the requirement of urban area and how those bridges or the infrastructure need to be developed and how it will serve to the larger public. So that entire plan you can develop in context to the city. So you are not actually working on the individual project as such, but you are working as an entire city as a context, and you can import those different plans within the GIS environment and see and visualize it on the city itself. And GIS is very useful for collaboration within various teams. As I was mentioning, the smart city programs actually involves civil engineers, IT managers, policymakers, and each of those stakeholders need to have the access to the data, need to know what is the current situation, how the new plans have been designed and developed. So each and every stakeholder has to have the access to this particular data infrastructure, and it can be easily given using the eSeries GIS technology. And using this technology, you have to integrate various databases. A lot of databases are easily available within the GIS solution, which are made freely available from the for the eSeries users from eSeries India, and these can be used for further planning and designing. For example, you have the data for demography, so it can be used for predicting the future scenarios, like in next 10 years, 15 years, how much demography or the population will be there within that particular locality, and how many people will be using a certain type of infrastructure, may it be like, for example, metro lane or a particular bridge. So it will help to the planners to understand the future need and develop the infrastructure which can be more sustainable. Next. This is some of the again example where the GIS will be used. So for example, you need to know future changes, what will the land use, land cover change in the future scenarios, where the new infrastructure will come up and how it will affect to the natural resources as well as the local communities. So that entire thing can be actually managed and predicted in advance, and it will actually help in the sustainable development. And obviously in the transportation network, again, it is very useful. You can understand the using various technology like IoT or the AI, the traffic pattern, and understand where the more infrastructure is needed. Also, if there is any problem or issue within particular area, how it can be managed. So that kind of almost real time services or the support can be provided using the GIS technology. And when it comes to the environmental monitoring, obviously you can do the environmental impact assessment. As I was mentioning, if you are having developing certain infrastructure, changing certain land use, how it will affect to the environment as a whole. So that kind of analytics you can do, and you can actually map the certain areas which are actually having more impacts. So it may be the impact because of the human activities, or maybe it is due to the natural calamities. So which are those areas which may get affected because of these kind of effects. So those kind of localities you can map easily, and it will actually help in the regular monitoring. So for example, we have sensors which are monitoring air quality. So air quality index is managed and actually monitor regularly. So we'll know how is the air quality in a particular area, how much is the traffic in that area, and how it can be managed in the longer run. So these are some of the examples where you can use the GIS technology for smart city programs. So I think we have come to the end of the webinar, and now I think we are open for the question and answer. So over to you, Aniket. Yes.
Okay.
Aniket, definitely, participants already asked some questions, but before going to Q&A session, I just want to give a small demo. You can keep those questions, and after that demo, we will continue with the Q&A.
Sure, Rohit.
So the part which we are discussing about the 3D visualization of your CAD drawings into a real context. So this is a very good demo which I found. Okay, so this is prepared over the history platform. So now here you can see what this company did. They have a infrastructure project, and they want to monitor the that project and the progress of that project. So what they do, they kept the drone data. So this is a drone model. This is drone 3D model, and they keep that data repository. And every 15 days or in a month, they collect the drone image, which give them an idea about the stage of that project, at what stage that project is. Okay, so they can visualize that project into 3D. So you can see this is a 3D model, and they can also visualize that project into 2D. So in 2D also they can visualize. Second thing is they also uh, shared the building model. So building model basically it's a CAD model they already shared. So the CAD file also have the different stages, construction phases, which they are calling. So like phase 2, if I click to phase 2, only phase 2 will be open. Okay, so what is the phase 2? This is the phase 2. Or so in phase 1, this much of construction should be happened on the ground, and if they can check with the date timeline, they can see at that day is that much of constructions already happened or not. So in that manner, they can manage their assets. They can have the more visualization about their infrastructure project, as well as they have the capabilities to share this with their stakeholder, with the client. Definitely they are building this project for someone else, and who can also have the visibility about the project. So this is a good practice this company is doing. So this is what, just one more example how simple it's to share your 3D models, your 3D models on GIS, and how you can visualize that data into realistic context.
So for that, I would like to thanks Mr. Rohit and Mr. Yogesh for delivering a very insightful webinar today. I am very confident it was very helpful for our audience today. And I also would like to thanks our audience for taking their time out and joining this session. If you have any questions related to the subject market or any other requirement, you can always connect with us. Our details are displayed on the screen right now. You can reach out to us at any time and we would be happy to address your queries. Please do keep an eye on our upcoming seminars and webinars. You can follow us on our social media platform, and thank you. Thank you for joining.